Hello and welcome back to the channel on a lovely afternoon here in Okinawa. Just come out for an hour or so, talk about this camera I bought a few months ago. There's sugarcane everywhere about to be harvested here in Okinawa. Weird church there. Anyway, so I went out last night, got back very late. I was very lazy in bed all day today and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go out for an hour. I want to feel the sand under my feet and just remind myself how lucky I am. Had a great time last night with friends, lovely restaurants, lovely bars. Um, and I'm lucky to live in this beautiful place. And I thought, I don't usually, often when you live somewhere near the beach, you don't actually ever go. So I thought, beaches everywhere in Okinawa. I'm going to go and have a bit of a walk and talk a little bit about this camera. Got to be careful getting down to the beach though. Habu. There's three types of habu in Okinawa, which are venomous pit vipers. And yeah, I haven't got the required footwear. So let's hope going down here that I don't get eaten. This does look a bit sketchy, and those rocks are perfect places for the habu to start coming out for its dinner. So yeah, this is my last vlog. It's been great. It's been emotional. Eyes peeled. Okay. This is, wow. So I was going to try and take some photos here, but there's not a lot going on this beach really. We'll just make do. Not a lot to take photos of, unfortunately. Anyway, yes, so what's this? This is the EPM2 Olympus, which I believe is still the smallest digital camera Olympus have ever made, I think. And when I got it, I got a really good deal online. So I bought just the body. And then later I thought there's no point having a small camera. The reason I got it is to fit in my pocket. So I had to go and separately buy this Lumix 20mm 1.7 to go along with the camera so I could fit both in my pocket. Basically, I was influenced too much by watching YouTube. Something I try to do. I try to help people and give tips in photography. And most of the YouTube videos I watch are bird stuff, but I was watching street photography, which is not something I really do. And I thought, you know what? I often think my Nikon Z6ii is too big to take out for the kids, and just walking around, like walking along the beach like this. And I thought this might be the answer. So found a good deal, got it. Then I got the lens later, and I've been using it sort of on and off for about a month or two. Anyway, I'm just trying to find things to shoot on this beach, and there's not much. There are these cool little yellow flowers from this tree here, and some of them are dead and they've fallen down, so I've just trying to be placing it. But I find it so difficult when you're used to a flippy screen. If I put this on the ground, on the surface of the sand, I can't really see what's in it unless I get really down and really sandy, and I don't want to do that. So anyway, I'm just trying to find some things. There's some cool little bird tracks here, but not a lot, unfortunately. I have tried to see what the sun stars are like with this lens, and they seem pretty rubbish. Actually, I can't seem to get anything. I did use this camera with my 35mm manual focus TT Artisan lens, and that made quite nice sun stars, but this seems to be a bit of a wash. As I said, this lens is sharp, but this constant sound and the constant back and forth of the autofocus is a little bit grating, literally, and So I think it was made in about 2013. It's 16 megapixels, which is totally fine for the sort of photography I'm using it for. Just, family, snapshots, bit of street photography, bit of walking around photography, just when I don't want to take a big setup. It's super small. It absolutely does fit into my pocket. But, and there are a lot of buts, the autofocus is pretty awful in comparison to today's cameras. Now, when it came out, it had the latest technology and it was good autofocus, but that was 12, 13 years ago. Nowadays, the autofocus is pretty slow. And with this lens, it's awful. There's no other way to describe it, really. It's awful. If anything's moving, it's really difficult with this. And this lens constantly makes a noise when you've got it on. It's just constantly vibrating and going back and forth, trying to focus on something which I'm not even using the camera. It's just going back and forth, it's kind of like my head this morning. So yeah, again, looks great, but I don't really care about the looks. It's a red camera. It does look nice. I'm sure when it came out, it was very popular with young people. But autofocus is pretty crap. The video is awful. The video is awful. You can't even use it. I thought when I got this, I could potentially use it in a pinch to do vlogging. That's out, especially with this lens. Now, I put a kit lens on it before, 14 to 45, and it did pretty well. Definitely takes sharp pictures, but I don't know, I'm kind of regretting getting it, I think. And basically, it's not better than my phone. That's the thing. It's not better than my phone. Yeah, if I did a lot of street photography and, I was really arty and everything, I might really like this. But, yeah, I watched YouTube videos and I thought, that would be nice. But I sort of underestimated when they said the autofocus wasn't great. In comparison to the OM1 and the Z8, there is no comparison. And, yeah, maybe I'm expecting too much. But, yeah, I'm thinking I might try and sell it, try and get the money back I spent on it. Um, Again, the lens is sharp, autofocus is awful, makes too much noise. It's just kind of painful. I just end up doing manual a lot. Yeah, everything in comparison to today's, buffers awful. Frames per second, 8 frames per second, which is pretty good. You only get about 6 shots for that. And just the menus, it's just such a drag. So this menu button here lets you go between different settings, and then it's got this thing that at the time was probably very convenient. You press the middle button and it brings up your options, um, and then you can scroll through them, but it just all takes so long. And I'm sounding really whiny, aren't I? But yeah, I mean, my phone's better. I think my phone's better. With my phone, it's got this great portrait feature, which, yes, it uses AI, but it looks pretty good. And if I'm just taking casual shots of my kids, that's fine. So, die-hard small camera fans would probably like this. I think I made a mistake. Just taking good pictures isn't enough, really. It's got IBIS, but I think it's broken on this. And I'd read a lot of these are older cameras, the IBIS broke. So, yeah, it's got a little grip there. Sorry, I mean, I've been using it for a couple of months and yeah, I think I made a mistake. I'll put out some pictures I've taken with it in the last couple of months. But before you buy a small camera thinking, oh, that'll be nice, I'll just put my pocket alongside my app cameras, just think how much better it is than your phone. Because my phone, I can vlog. I'm vlogging on it now. My phone takes great photos, all types of genres. Yes, I can't take wildlife pictures, but earlier I was using my macro lens on this. And again, the autofocus was just so painful. It's just, what's the point? I was thinking, I could take some good macro pictures to show online. It's just too much of an effort to get them. I could get them, but it's too much of an effort. And I don't want to be faffing around, changing the menus, trying to work out how to get stuff, which is what I'm doing with this. I spent ages trying to work out the menus and trying to get the settings that I want. And that's my fault. I'm not very tech savvy, but yeah, sorry. I feel a bit sad actually. As I came here, I was feeling super positive, and I've just been really negative about this, and I don't like being negative. I certainly never post anything negative on other people's videos or pictures. So, people who own this, they might be offended. So, obviously, there are people who really like it and take amazing photos with it. So, you should probably watch their videos and take their opinion. But in terms of, for me, it just hasn't really worked. And I thought, oh, that'd be great. I'll just chuck that in my bag or my pocket and I can always take pictures of the kids. But as I said, the focus just frustrates me. And I don't have the patience, as other people do, to sort of play around with it and get it right. All the settings and like modes on the camera, I just find it all a bit frustrating. So yeah, sorry, didn't mean to be negative. I wanted to take lots of nice pictures at the beach as well, and there wasn't really much there to take photos of. So I'm just walking around the neighbourhood near the beach. There are some Okinawan graves there, traditional graves. You've got hibiscus here, the national flower of Okinawa. They're everywhere. Beautiful. I love hibiscus. My favourite ones are the orange ones. And then, of course, these giant sugarcane fields are everywhere, all up there. And I expect they'll be harvested soon. And sugarcane is one of the biggest exports here in Okinawa. It's just nice being out. Lovely just walking on the sand. All the beaches here, even though that wasn't really where I intended to be, that one. All the beaches in Okinawa are so lovely. And I feel lucky living here. And sometimes I have to remind myself just to come out for an hour, breathe the fresh air, remind yourself that you're lucky and don't take what you have for granted. I should really use the Lumix on my OM1 and see if the autofocus is better on that, because it does make sharp pictures. I will give it that. And it's 1.7, which is a nice aperture to, soften the background. So it has got some good points and a lot of people like it. It's a very popular lens. I got it at a pretty good price. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you on the next one when I'll be doing something more traditionally me. Okay, take care. Bye.